understand at first and can be difficult to learn at first. But if you had, I know some guys here have had martial arts experience, right? So I think I mentioned the other day when I demonstrated the theory, when you pivot thrust, it's just what you do when you punch in karate, right? Starts with the lower body first, then the middle body, then the upper body, then the arm last, right? So here's how it works. I'll demonstrate it and talk about what they are while I do it kind of in slow motion. First thing is, I like to think of my left arm here for this drill, my left side, sort of like a door, the door jamb where the hinges connect to the wall. And the right side is being a door, and the right side closes. One way you can think of it. It's actually a swing nap drill we'll probably have time for this afternoon called open the door, close the door. But what the elements of the pivot thrust are, there's a little tilt this way. There's an additional second tilt we call 2B. 2A, what I was just talking to you about, Art. 2A is here. 2B is when you get set. There's another second, very, very important part of the golf swing. We call it the key move. I discovered this about 8 years ago. Your shoulder girdle rocks. Left shoulder up about 2 to 4 inches, depending on the club. The shorter the club, the less tilt. The longer the club, the more tilt. Okay, like that, right? So it's this little move here, that move. I'll show you some photos later on this. You can see it for yourself. Tiger, you can really see it contract really fast and go like that. Okay? That's the main thing during this very fast, powerful, dynamic motion that keeps you in balance. Okay? That move. And then fourth, there's obviously rotation, and the rotation this part is in sequence. It's not simultaneous, it's sequential. But these things are spaced like 1/100th of a second apart. So from a feel standpoint, core, your belly, your oblique abs pick up some of the speed from your hips. So now the abs have more speed than they were if they just contracted by themselves. There's a transfer of momentum from your hips to your abs, from your abs to your shoulders. So when your shoulders are spinning, the fastest of the three by far, it's not just the muscles in your shoulders that are causing the spin, it's also muscles in the abdomen. That energy flows to your shoulders, and the muscles from your hips is flowing into your shoulders. So your shoulders are just like tearing through the air. Think of Tiger. His shoulders go, here's his shoulders at the top of the backswing, and also they go, it's total, just like that, just this quick little swivel of the shoulders. And from a kind of a common sense standpoint, that's what you should think about. It hits the ball. More specifically, your right shoulder, making a swiveling motion through and past the ball position. Hit the ball with your right shoulder. We call that the inner primary power source, meaning it's what most good players, if you ask them what they feel, they'll say, I feel like I hit the ball with my shoulders. Some will say hips, some will say belly, right? So most people will identify their shoulder, particularly the right shoulder, because the right shoulder is behind the ball, the left shoulder is ahead of it, because I'm not that kind of a teacher, but it's one of the dozen things in this program. If you want to get better really fast, reconceptualize your notion of what hits the ball, what your primary power source is, from a wrist throw or arm pull or an elbow pull to a right shoulder spinning motion. Now some of you are going, but wait a minute, isn't that over the top? It is if you don't tilt to the right. So in other words, when you're over the top as a shoulder motion, not just an arm motion, which some people have played, like a lot of good players, that's the case, that you can learn to hit the ball with your right shoulder and not pull it, not come over the top, if you had that other piece, which is the tilt part, right? Okay, so everybody get it? It's transfer momentum, hips to belly, belly to shoulder. So the shoulders are moving the fastest of any part of the pivot. They're tearing through the air with lightning speed. I was watching Michelle on the Golf Channel last night, and She's moving her shoulders faster now, from what I could tell from watching her hit, like, thousands of shots in January and February. Every day when I was teaching, she was right there next to us. She's moving faster, and I'm guessing because she's doing this physical training with they got a full-time physical trainer working with her every day after school. She goes to the gym and she works out with weights and does, core exercises. You watch her, shoots the top of her backswing, it's like a blur. She's here, and all of a sudden she's here. You don't even see it so fast. The faster you can spin those shoulders, and the more fully, not only the more distance you're going to get. Once an object's moving in a certain direction, it tends to keep moving that way, right? Yep. You're using physical dynamic forces, right? Because if you get started down in the right top of backswing position, that first little move of transition is so important. If you get started down, just fire. It's all going to go in the same direction pretty much, because there's no time for your conscious mind to change anything, right? With our normal swing, we swing slowly. We're always trying to manipulate some body part or the club to try to get back what we think proper impact is. And all we do is interfere with this dynamic force, momentum and inertia, right? Along with centrifugal force and rotary force and other forces. So use the forces, Luke.